malfunction, but we're good.
Yes, we have malfunctioned minorly.
Hi, I'm Philip.
And I'm Tommy. Welcome to RCX Unfiltered. Philip had to do a thing and then got really sleepy or something along those lines.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
There was an orca involved, I heard. Maybe a limb or two lost, but hopefully not the important ones.
Yeah. He needs his feet.
Everybody needs feet, Tommy.
Do they? Mermaids disagree.
Oh, that's true. That's true. We are not mermaids.
Speak for yourself.
Are you a mermaid?
I'm a merman.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just kidding.
Fine.
My secret identity is mermaid man.
Mermaid man.
That was for Phoebe. Because SpongeBob.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't get it.
Yeah, I know. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, welcome back to RCX Unfiltered. It's been a long day.
It has.
We're tired.
Yeah.
There were 475,000 comics that came out this week.
Literally.
That are coming out tomorrow. And I read roughly 1 billion of them.
Yep. And yet there are still more.
And yet I still have a giant stack.
Yep.
But because of Tess, I read 2 full graphic novels as well.
Yes.
We'll talk about those in a minute.
Yes.
Trying to think, what do we have going on? Let's see. We have Christmas, which is next Wednesday somehow.
We are not open that day.
We are not open next Wednesday. We'll be closing early on Tuesday, but I couldn't say how early. It depends on when people are here.
Hi, Phoebe.
Yeah, anyway, whenever the store dies, we're going to close up on
we'll
Tuesday.
Die too, yeah.
Somewhere around 5 or 6 is my best guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're having a sale the weekend after Christmas.
And then 29th,
28th and 29th.
I believe.
We're going to start really promoting that a lot in the next few days, week.
Yeah, because it's next week.
Oh my God.
Hi, Brian.
Oh, hello, sir. And then February 1st, we will be moved into the new space, and Powhatan Comic-Con is also that day.
Crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot happening.
You can visit us twice.
Yep. I think that's all we really have.
You see, there's nothing happening for you guys. It's all on our end. Y'all can just sit back, relax, and watch the dumpster fire.
Yep.
Lazy. Sorry. That was mean.
This has been a little judgy today.
Oh, no.
I'm sure it'll be fine. I guess we'll jump into talking about some books. So we have TVA #1 for those of you who have watched Loki or Deadpool and Wolverine. You will have seen the TVA in action. We've got Miss Minutes here, who was a little bit evil in the show. And then we get introduced to Sir Seconds, who is her male counterpart. He has a monocle.
Good for him.
And a top hat. That's how you know he's a very serious man when talking about bathroom etiquette.
Oh.
Yep, that happens in this book. So the gist of it is...
Is that Spider-Gwen?
Gwen, after what has happened in her last miniseries, is chilling at the TVA, hiding out from everything.
Good for her.
And then it's a lot of the cast of characters from TVA. We got Ouroboros over here and B-15, and then he's over here going, wow.
Wow.
And then there's a weird, sad Gambit.
Weird, sad Gambit.
Yeah, apparently his rogue died, and now he's just sad about it. Drunk about it. He's,
Aw. I wish I could say poor Gambit.
It's if you enjoy silly nonsense, this is the book.
This is it.
Everything in this book takes place outside of time, so they can do literally anything. It feels like that 4th season of Legends of Tomorrow when they're like, this is a time travel show. We can do whatever nonsense we want. Want to fight a unicorn at Woodstock? Let's do that. They did that.
I'm down.
Hello, Megan.
Megan.
So, anyway, the book was fun, kind of silly. I really have no idea what's going on in it, but
Hop along for the ride.
yeah. I read a bunch of books, and I read part of a bunch of books because some of them were very murdery and not very nice. And I thought this was going to be one that I would only read the first page or two of, and they'd be like, no, thank you. It's called In Bloom. This is the first issue from Boom Studios. It is an interesting concept where something has happened and the microbes in our body that are more flora than fauna wake up, and some people bloom. And so like we've got people who like sometimes it's a little gross. I'm trying to find one that's less gross. But most of society are like, okay, plant people, super cool. Everybody's like, man, I can't wait till I bloom. And of course, there's like a small percentage of people who are angry about the bloom, and they're like, and it's usually people who haven't bloomed yet. So there's a serial killer murdering people who have bloomed with what they're calling weed killer. It's some sort of a poison, and then stuffing a flower in their mouth. So it is a murder mystery book.
But with flowers?
But because the people are like half flowers, it's not as upsetting or gross as I was expecting. The main character is a war veteran, and his face is heavily scarred, and you see like a flashback in here where he took like a bunch of shrapnel or something to the side of his face, and it just ripped his face apart.
The art's really pretty too.
Yeah, it's very like Blade Runner-ish.
Look at that.
It feels like the whole vibe of the thing feels very Blade Runner. Stephen Weed Killer, yeah. Yeah, anyway, the book was interesting, and then there's a second, like, a little subplot where these, they have an upcycling station where the police mentioned don't take the bodies to the upcycling station yet until the investigation's done, put them in the cooler. And then towards the end of the book, we see a family go to the upcycling station with grandma, who looks very sad about going to the upcycling station. You can guess what happens then.
Oh, grandma.
Yeah, so there's a lot happening in this book.
Wait, I might have to read it now.
It was really well done. The creative team I'm not familiar with. Let me see this real quick. It's written by Michael Conrad and drawn by John Pearson. I am not familiar with either of these creators, but this was a really good first issue. I am quite intrigued.
Mm-hmm. And is this actually supposed to come out this week, or was this supposed to...
Oh, you know what? This was probably supposed to come out last week, or maybe the week
FYI.
Before.
We are still having problems.
Yeah, Diamond shipping's a little chaotic, so anything from Boom and Dynamite and Distillery and Titan are a week or two behind. So we got a lot of Distillery this week. A lot. You know what, Bill? Nice segue. It was on my stack. I have not read it yet. It's called Through the Bows, a Yuletide Offering. And I will show you the art in the first... Well, that's a title page. The art in the first story is adorable.
It's so cute.
They're goblins of some kind. And I know I flipped through it really fast a little while ago, and I think one of them ate a frog. Yep, they're eating frogs.
Oh, delicious.
It's the first... and. All right, first story is really cute. The second story is Sweeney Boo. So this would be Philip's favorite part of the book, if he were here. It is also quite pretty. But like a lot of the anthologies, it's sort of Christmas, sort of horror, sort of acid trips. Like I'm not really...
Bill wants us to put one in his box.
Can do, sir. Anyway, all of the anthology books this year have been interesting. This one has sort of a over the garden wall vibe to it. It's a little trippy. But we had 2 Christmas books this week. We had this one from Distillery. And then we had the Alligator Loki Christmas special from Marvel. And I did not have time to read either of these.
We got to put one in Megan's box as well.
Okay. But I think Alligator Loki's making dumplings of some kind.
Good for
Maybe
him.
some bao. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how he celebrates Christmas. But anyway, this looks the alligator Loki looks really cute, and there's an ad for it for a book Philip will be excited about, Marvel Mutts.
Marvel Mutts?
Yeah, it's all the dogs and the dogs and Ms. Marvel.
I'm so excited.
I love that Cosmo's involved and Pizza Dog.
Pizza Dog.
Yeah, it's real cute.
Love.
All right. So I think we've talked about this before. Some number of years ago, Straczynski was writing Thor, and it was the best book where nothing ever happened. And right now, Jonathan Hickman writing Ultimate Spider-Man, this is the best book where nothing happens. Spider-Man doesn't even show up in this issue. The whole thing is a Christmas dinner that Peter and Mary Jane are throwing for Ben and Jonah and the kids and Aunt Anna, who should be a familiar character for those of you who are steeped in Spider-Man lore like me. Mary Jane's Aunt Anna, who really took care of her when she was younger. But also in this issue are Mary Jane's mother and sister, who always get invited and never show up. So there's a lot of family drama, and if you enjoy stressful Christmas family dramas,
it's perfect.
With an older lady who's like, well, now that Ben is single, and Mary Jane's like, no, stop it. Stop it. And her mom's like, gotta get back on that horse. And I'm like, ma'am, he is a man, not a horse. Don't be confused. Anyway, it's really cute. The kids are hilarious. Jonah is Jonah. Although Jonah did dress up. He's wearing a Christmas hat.
Aww.
Happy Christmas hat, Jonah. Get back on that spider.
No.
Oh, Brian, that's terrible. I loved
Ow.
it. I loved it a lot.
Wow. Aww.
Yeah, it's very Christmassy. It's perfect. They dropped it at the exact right time.
They're very cute.
So we're running through these really fast. Philip and I guess, meander more when we're together.
Well, I haven't read any of these.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, well, let's talk about a book Tessa did read. Visitations.
This was a lot.
I did not know what to expect. I read this. I started reading it last night and then went to bed and had weird dreams.
Yes,
and then
I did
finished
too.
it this morning.
And it's.
All right, so this young man, and I knew it was because I didn't read the back of the book, but after it was done, I read the author's notes, and it's based on a true story, a thing that actually happened to the author and his little sister. Mm-hmm. So this young man is Mormon. They live in Utah. He goes to a private Mormon school. So a lot of this book is driven by their faith. Mm-hmm. Most everything that they do in life, their mom is unbelievably devout. When he was young, when his sister was very little, his parents got divorced. And the crux of this is that his mother's father was convicted and imprisoned for terrible things with a young girl.
You can.
Yeah, you can extrapolate. And so but when we hit that part, I almost put it down because that's not a thing I can deal with very well. Mm-mm. But I pushed through. And so anyway, divorces. He gets accused of things. He's acquitted. There's no proof. Nothing ever happens. And he gets very little visitation. And the mom is like, don't talk to him. Don't acknowledge him. You have to be there physically, but you don't have to engage. Mm-hmm. So for years, these kids went to visit their dad and didn't speak to him. Yeah. Didn't engage. Mm-mm. And from what it looks like in this book, dad tried hard.
Really hard.
To really get to know his kids and try to be a dad. Mm-hmm. So one day, mom is like, actually, you don't have to go to visitation today. We're
leaving.
The Heavenly Father has told me that you shouldn't go. Yep. And so you're not going to go. And then the police show up and they don't answer the door. They kind of hide. And every time the kid is like, what? This doesn't make sense. And she's like, pray about it.
Pray about it.
Pray about it.
The Lord said to me that this is what we should be doing.
And
you have to trust.
This kid basically looks at his mother like she is a prophet.
Yeah.
Like she speaks for God. So everything she said, he's like, absolutely, I believe you.
Because she's all he's ever known. I mean...
And then several times over the course of the book, he reinforces his view of his mother through stories, through scripture that he learned in school.
Yes.
So he really 100% believes everything she's saying. So the police come, and when the police leave, she's like, pack your things, we're leaving. And they spend a month in a car running. And it just gets darker and darker, and the mom gets more and more unhinged as the story goes, to the point where she's like, the kids are talking, and she's like, shh, don't give away any information that could tell them where we are. I think there's microphones in the car.
And, oh, the food's all poisoned. We have to throw it away.
Yeah. And they're basically starving. They have no money. They're living off, like, for those of us who grew up poor, crackers with mustard on them. Like, that was a meal, you know?
Yeah, it was
a lot.
Yeah, it's a really, really a lot. It's hard to imagine this is something that, like, happens.
Yeah.
And
this is, and really it's a story about mental illness and how the mental illness can twist the religious beliefs in a way that make it seem like 100% this is what I'm supposed to do. God is telling me to do these things. And it's really powerful.
Yes.
It is, thankfully, it has a mostly happy ending.
Yeah.
Which halfway through it, I was like, oh my God, if this ends in tragedy, I'm going to be so upset. But it ends with mom getting some help.
Yeah.
And the kids reconnecting with their dad. And there is a bit of a mystical element, like a ghostly figure comes to him one night and is basically trying to get him to reason through what his mother's telling him and why what he's being told isn't reasonable.
Yeah.
And so, like, there's a good chunk of the book where he's following this girl, and, you know, he's 15. He's got his learner's permit. There's a girl at school that's cute that he kind of likes, but he cannot give in to that temptation. He can't even think about it. And this ghostly girl is kind of like, why can't you just think about it? Like, you're a teenage boy.
Yeah.
Like,
that's what you do.
These aren't evil thoughts. They're just thoughts. So I can say that if that part of the story is also true for him, trauma can trigger that way sometimes, where you envision something that kind of like external to your body that can help you work your way through whatever the tragedy is. I had a similar thing when I was a kid when my grandmother died. So, like, I've seen the apparitions.
The apparitions.
Not ghosts. It's rude. It's apparitions. That was also for Phoebe. Anyway, the book is powerful. It's very good. I would not be surprised if, I mean, it's coming out here at the end of the year, but I would not be surprised if this was on some best of lists for next year. Yeah. Because it is a little bit towards the end of the year now. But it's a
good one for, like, people with religious trauma.
And I think that's why I kept reading once I was like, oh, this is upsetting. This is upsetting.
This is upsetting, but this is like,
I get it.
I knew these people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And even though this guy, you know, was raised a lot in Utah with the Mormons, he lives in Virginia now.
He does.
With his wife.
He does.
Yep. He lives with his wife, son, and 3 cats in a little house by the woods.
And that's adorable.
That sounds like a good life.
Aww.
Anyway, this book really was very good. Very powerful, very teary at times.
Yeah.
If I teared up, I assume that you had,
oh my God,
you were a mess.
Friday was a long day.
Yeah. All right, so anyway, my pick of the week, and it edged this one out by like,
well, because it's Wonder Woman.
More so than that.
It's Detective
Chimp, and Tom King has decided to write him like Columbo. You know, he comes across a little goofy, a little like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just have some questions.
Yeah,
and then it's like,
you can totally tell me to go away. I'll go away.
And then it's like, hey, oh, wait, I had a banana on me. Where did my banana go? I always like to have a banana on me, and I can't find it. Like, he does everything he can to be as like annoying and off-putting as possible when interrogating the bad guy.
It's so good. It is.
And one of the things that I've really loved about the last few issues of this book is that Diana is in it, but she's not the one who's really she's not focusing on the bad guy.
No, she
has a baby now.
Yeah.
She's focusing on the baby.
Mm-hmm. She's got people doing
and
the work.
All of her friends, without her having to say anything, are just stepping in and being like, Diana needs help, and I'm going to go help her. Like, it's
so good.
We're now 16 issues into what I think is going to be called the defining run of Wonder Woman. I think that the way that we look back at the George Perez run, that's how future generations are going to look back at this. It is really well written. There are some amazing, like, heartbreaking character beats. And then there is such love from every character. Like, she is I think even more so than Superman, because she's from Earth. Mm-hmm. She is like the living embodiment of hope.
Yeah.
And she gives that hope to all of the people around her. And when she's going through it, everybody's like, okay, we're there.
Yeah.
100%
they all step up.
We will not let you do this on your own. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And anyway, I love Detective Chimp even before this. And I want Tom King to write a Detective Chimp book.
I want Tom King to write everything.
Matter of fact, I want a Detective Chimp show. Because it would be, Phoebe's been looking for a monk replacement. This would be it. This would be it. 100%. Yeah. God, Detective Chimp, he's so good.
He's so good. And it's such an entertaining issue.
And much like every other book where there's like the Detective Chimp stuff was fun, but there's still some pretty serious moments. So the backup story is Jimmy Olsen, basically on TikTok,
literally
giving the secret origin of the bad guy.
Oh, it was so good.
And I don't know if you know this, but Clark Kent, close personal friend of Jimmy Olsen.
Close personal friend of his.
In case you didn't know.
No, this was definitely the best thing that came out this week.
Yeah, as far as single issue comics, no question. That was the best book, yeah.
My God.
And there were a lot of books to choose from.
When I post the picture tomorrow, be sure to look, because it's insane.
Any book with a variant, the variant is folded over top of the other, because I ran out of space. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, we didn't have any new manga this week, because the space where I normally put manga I had to move comics into.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We got some second prints of Absolute Superman #1 and G.I. Joe #1. G.I. Joe #2 came out this week, and it was amazing, and I didn't even add it to the stack.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. We might talk about that. We might. We're
literally 20 minutes in.
Yeah. This is Tess's pick of the week. I'll hand that over.
How Could You by Ren Strap is the lesbian drama of my dreams. It is so angsty and so wonderful.
Hold on. There's the author's bio. Ren Strap is a comic artist, designer, and gender nonconforming lesbian werewolf.
Yes!
That's really mostly all you need to know about this book.
And that's all I need to know. That's all you need to know. It is the perfect college romance, angsty breakups. It's the end of the world. It's so good.
And in case anybody's they're indoctrinating the frogs in this, there's a character who at the beginning of the book is a lesbian, and by the end of it, she's actually
she's straight.
Turns out I'm straight.
It's true. It's
true. So these are college kids doing college kids things. Mm-hmm.
Figuring themselves out.
Learning who they are in the world. Yeah. And making terrible, stupid decisions and mistakes.
Decisions.
And then, the kind of mistakes where you're I can't really make up for that. Mm-hmm. I did a thing that was kind of terrible, And now I have to live with that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get forgiveness because it's
No.
not a thing that I can really be forgiven for. And now
Exactly.
I get to move on with my life knowing that I did this thing to a person that didn't deserve it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I will say a lot of the YA on the cusp of being mature books
Mm-hmm.
tend to have, from what I've read, a color scheme that's a little more muted.
Mm-hmm.
Like this one.
Yeah.
Like Phoebe and I were talking about this last night. Like these books, a lot of them have the same, like, they pick like 3 colors
And then
and it's just this various gradients of that color.
Mm-hmm.
But this one
This
pops.
one is full.
It is. Yeah.
You can see there's
Yeah.
all sorts of different colors.
It's.
I love when multiple colors are introduced and multiple styles as well.
Yeah.
I feel like it's honestly a pretty unique style. Just with, like Tommy mentioned, the gradients and stuff these days. But
Yeah. This book was fun
mm-hmm.
and also heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Like it's the perfect balance of like a teen rom-com
Mm-hmm.
and a teen tear-jerking drama.
Yes.
Like it's got all the elements.
It's true. We just need more lesbians in the
And
media.
I say teen, these are all college age
They're
people.
college
They're all like
kids.
20.
Yeah, but 20 is still a teenager.
Yeah. To me, 20 is 7.
Right?
You all look alike.
I am 7 years old. It's true. But yeah, it's good. And it's from our good friends at Oni Press.
Yep. Who published this one? Is this FSG?
Yeah, I think they're...
Farrar, Straus, Giroux.
What are they from?
I don't know. It says fiercereads.com.
Fiercereads.com.
Yep.
Imprint of Macmillan.
Macmillan.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Yeah, exactly. Late teens, early 20s. It's all college stuff.
Yeah.
They're all terrifying to me.
I could never. Could not be me. I stay away from those people.
I guess I'm glad I kept this stack. We'll just do a quick run through of other books that came out this week that I don't have strong opinions on. The Challenges of the Unknown #1, which we were confused because it's got Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman in Challenges of the Unknown. The Challengers are humans. I think they came out in the 60s. They just try to figure out mysteries of the universe, and they have been helping the Justice League build the new Watchtower. Rocky, one of the members, had to fix the toilets in this issue.
Yeah.
You don't see him do it. You just see the aftermath where he looks tired and grossed out.
That was the most notable thing.
Yeah. So Challenges of the Unknown is one of those weird esoteric properties. They came out around the same time as like Metal Men and like Metamorpho when DC was kind of experimenting with some like weirder stuff. I haven't read a ton of Challengers. All the stories I've read, it's sort of like they slip into the cracks of the DC universe and try to figure out, okay, why is this thing working this way? Why is it? And basically in this, it's the aftermath of the All-In special where Darkseid has exploded basically and created the absolute universe, but they don't know that yet. And there are a bunch of anomalous things happening throughout the universe that seem to be tied in with the Darkseid particles or whatever. There's some like weird glass that grew on Mars. Nobody knows why. That was the main mystery we tackle in this one. And then there's like there's 3 others that they're going about doing stuff. And then it ties a little bit into the Question series. The second issue of which comes out this week, but I haven't read it yet, so it's not in this stack.
Pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Tested, read it. Yeah. It's Renee Montoya solving mysteries
Exactly.
on a space station.
Mm-hmm.
It's Deep Space Nine, but
Yeah.
Justice League.
It's really good.
Less trailer parky than Deep Space Nine, but you know.
Yeah.
Another new #1 from DC, The New Gods by Ram V and Evan Cagle.
Okay, girl.
Jorge Fornes. I don't know a lot about the New Gods. I know that that when Kirby was at DC in the 60s and they were just letting him do whatever he wanted, he was like, I'm going to create these new gods and no one's ever going to understand them. And
I love that.
here we are.
I read it too. I didn't know what was happening a whole lot at the time, but I mean, it was
a
interesting.
it sounds like a new god has been born, and Highfather, who's supposed to be the good guy, Highfather
Yes.
and Darkseid are like two sides of the same coin.
Mm-hmm.
And because Darkseid's gone, Highfather's like, well,
Yes, it's my job now.
The universe needs balance. Mm-hmm. So he sends Orion to go kill a baby.
Yep.
And Orion goes to Miracle Man and is like, hey, Scott, I don't want to do this. Can you stop it? And Scott's like, I have an infant newborn child.
Mm-hmm. No.
My wife is on a superhero team. No, I don't have time to deal with your nonsense. Mm-hmm. And the most important part of this book is that Scott Free's daughter is named Olivia.
Yep.
Her name is Live Free.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Ah.
So nothing else matters.
Nope.
All that matters is Live Free.
Live free.
And honestly, Liv was the main character in the wacky, like, multiversity thing that had Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman teaming up with Steven Universe and Scooby and Shaggy.
Really?
Yeah. Liv was the character. She was at home playing video games when shenanigans ensue, and suddenly the Wicked Witch of the West is in her living room.
Good for her.
Yeah. That book was super fun.
Are we getting a trade for that?
Yes. I'm not 100% sure when. All right.
Have to look
The
for
aforementioned G.I. Joe, we got a whole new team of all female
Hell yeah.
Cobra troopers calling themselves Valkyries because they walk around the battlefield and shoot the wounded in the face. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yep. So it's
Icon.
Cobra Commander and Destro still trying to get their hands on Energon while G.I. Joe tries to stop them. And then Clutch disappears.
Yep. I didn't read it.
It was really good. I
don't think I care enough.
Yeah.
Absolute Batman 3.
Yeah, Absolute Batman 3.
It's pretty good.
It's the dark book that I expected it to be in issue 1.
Yeah, it's definitely Batman.
Yeah, it's definitely Batman, and Black Mask as a villain is terrifying, yes. Honestly. Yeah, anyway, Absolute Batman continues to be really good. Mm-hmm. This one, less action-y, more world-building setup.
Yes, which I liked.
Me too. A whole lot. Me too. Captain America 16, it's the second part of a two-parter where Thor and Spider-Man join Captain America, bringing Broxton, Oklahoma back from the upside down. I don't know how to describe it other than that. It was... Black Mask is a Batman villain from I want to say the 90s. He's, if you saw the Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey movie, he's the villain. He is, Obi-Wan is Black Mask in that movie. His name's Roman something or other. Mm-hmm. In that, he's just like a sadistic gangster. And in the regular universe, he's a sadistic gangster. In this, he seems a whole other level.
It's really freaky.
Like, he's real evil. Like, a whole other level of evil.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Nah.
It's kind of gross.
Nightwing was good.
I thought Nightwing was pretty great. I was worried that after Tom Taylor left this book that I would never read it again.
But it's actually good.
But he's basically, there's a bunch of warring gangs, and he's trying to stop a gang war, and also this gang called the Teddies, where they're all dressed, they're basically furries, but most of them are like 15 and under, and he's like, no, absolutely not.
He's trying to protect them.
Yeah, I need to save these children.
Yeah.
Because he's Nightwing, and that's what he does.
It's like heartbreaking a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to, I don't remember what else I read. There's so many books this week.
Yeah. There were so many.
I think you read other things that I didn't.
I read Minor Arcana, issue 4.
Oh, I did not read that.
It's still pretty good. I liked this issue a lot, actually.
I'll show you the rest of my stack for this week. I got Space Ghost, which was technically last week, but we didn't get it till this week. String, which I love the first issue, so I'm excited to see where this goes. She can see the thread between someone who's been murdered and their murderer. Mm-hmm.
I'll probably read that as well.
First issue of Rocketfellas felt like a super fun Fantastic Four-esque story. I've told many people, like, this was definitely written not to be a children's book, but I would have zero problems handing this to a 10-year-old. It was all ages friendly, super fun. We talked about the question. Plastic Man, I'm almost scared to read it.
Because last issue.
The last issue got real dark.
I just read all of the Batman and Robin Year One comics, and they're pretty good as well.
I haven't read issue 2 or 3.
I love how spicy Robin is in this
Yeah,
one. He's love him.
And then we've got issue 3 and 4 of Batman Santa Claus,
Which I haven't read.
I haven't read issue 3 yet, but hopefully I will have all these read by tomorrow. We'll see how tonight goes.
And there's literally 100 million other titles.
Yeah, we had 2 other distillery books. We had a magazine-sized book and I forget from what publisher. It's a Garth Ennis book, and I flipped through a couple pages, and I was like, I'm not old enough for this book. So if you enjoy Garth Ennis, like, at his craziest, I think this might be the book.
What else?
Anyway, there's a lot of books this week.
Yeah. You'll have to come and check it out.
Yep. I think that we may wrap it up a little bit early tonight.
Yes.
Because
Philip's not here and we're sad.
Yep. This is all Philip's fault.
This is all Philip's fault.
So if you have any questions, concerns, or nasty remarks,
send them to Philip.
Send them to philip@theinternet.internet.
.internet. Okay.
All right.
Oh dear. All right. Well.
Everybody have a good night. Next week, the show will be on Christmas Eve, and that will be Philip and Jacqueline, because it's my oldest birthday, so I'll be hanging out with him. So
next week is the holidays, you guys.
Yeah, you only have 1 week of shopping left. I should start.
I need to start too. Okay.
All right.
That's a problem for later.
We're gone.
Everybody have a good evening.
Have a good night.
How do I